everyone. Today I wanted to do an updated makeup routine for you guys for the fall. As you can see, I have just woken up, washed my face, that's beautiful right there, and I will be getting ready for a Sunday brunch the day I recorded this. The first thing I like to do before putting on makeup and washing my face is pulling my hair back. I also kind of make it a priority not to wash my hair on Sundays until the evening, as I'm an evening shower person, and who wants to waste time washing and doing their hair when there is Sunday brunch to be had? There we go. Once all the hair is up, we will start with some foundation. I'm currently using the Maybelline Superstay Better Skin in Ivory. This gives pretty decent coverage when it comes to drugstore foundations. I'll put a little bit on the sponge, blot it around the face to use a small amount of product as possible, and then slowly but surely I will just blend in each section to make sure that the foundation is evenly spread around my face. Sometimes when I use drugstore and I don't get the coverage I want, I will do an additional coat, but this one seemed to be doing okay. When I do want to use fancy foundations, I will use the Laura Mercier. It is just fantastic, sorry. Or I will use the Hello Flawless Oxygen. After the foundation, I'll move on to my eyebrows. This is my NYC brow pencil in brown. And then just slowly, like I did in my other video, work from the outside toward the middle and then use the spoolie to even out all the eyebrows so they look as even as possible. After that, I will use a little bit of concealer. This is e.l.f. I don't mind the e.l.f. products, I think they're okay. This is the Under Eye Concealer and Highlighter. I don't really use the highlighter very often, but the concealer works well under the eyes and basically around the T-zone. And then I'll use my favorite kabuki brush, fill in just below the eyes, and then the T-zone. I will pay a little bit more attention to that small acne spot that I have on my chin. Typically don't break out very often, so when I do, I try to make sure that it is concealed properly. And then I also use what is left of my concealer as kind of my eye primer, as I don't have a drugstore edition of a eye primer before shadows. So I think a little concealer does the trick pretty well. And then, like I said, I have that little spot on my chin, so I'll take an additional bit of the Maybelline foundation, put it on my fingers. I do not typically use my fingers to apply makeup, but I will, in this case, just touch up the chin where I had a little bit of a breakout. And then I'll highlight around my forehead, around the eyes, and the nose for a little more definition and coverage. And then, as always, I will stop and take a little bit of water just to start the day off a little more hydrated. Then I will use a little bit of my loose powder, also from CoverGirl, just to seal in the foundation and concealer before we move on. If you see me singing, it is because I had Google Music playing in the background. After loose powder, we move on to eyeliner. This is my CoverGirl eyeliner pencil in brown as well. This pencil isn't bad. I actually just don't know how to get more product to come out of the pencil. There's no way to twist it, turn it, or push it, so I'm not sure what I will do when the product runs out. If anybody else has used the CoverGirl pencil, let me know how that is done. Opposite the eyebrows, I like to work on the inside of the eye when doing eyeliner, on the inside, and work my way out. When I'm done, I'll just gently blend in to make it all as even as possible, with a little bit of a Q-tip, just kind of cleaning it up right at the bottom. This eyeliner is a little bit more intense, so I will make sure to clean up especially the bottoms, not so much the top. And once they're done, we move on to eyeshadow. This is L'Oreal Paris. This palette is called Sultry Seductress. I actually chose it because it was on sale 2 for $4, and I had a $2 off any L'Oreal Paris makeup product, so I got this palette for free. I like to use the dark purple on the outsides, then kind of the silver shimmer on the inner side of the lid, and then they have the lightest highlighting and accent, and I'll use that just under the eyebrow. There we go. And I do like to make sure with an additional brush that I go through and I blend so it doesn't go like from a harsh light to dark. There it is. I'll clean up around the sides, make sure I don't have any extra eyeshadow where it's not supposed to be, and then blend. And then there is that highlighting accent color that I talked about earlier, and it goes right above the light and dark, above the crease, just to add a little bit of extra definition. I think it helps make your eyes pop just a little bit more to have that third color in the mix. And then one more time, I will just clean up right around the eyes to make sure there's no excess makeup. Then we move on to bronzer, and today I am using the e.l.f. palette once again. It's not bad. I'll be honest and tell you I like the Bare Minerals bronzer a lot more. If this weren't a drugstore edition, I would probably be using my Bare Minerals. But either way, I take a little bit of product at a time and then just slowly go around the face with one of my brushes to evenly distribute the bronzer. Make sure I don't have, any spots that aren't blended in. And then of course, going right around the jawline just to make sure that we do not have bronzer on the chin and not the neck. Then I will also be using e.l.f. in my choice of blush for the day. I like to put blush just on the apples of the cheeks. Oh, I must have really liked blush that day. Right there, just a small touch, and then I will touch up my T-zone just to get the excess blush around the face. But the accent is really on the cheeks. I guess I call them the apples of the cheeks. And then moving on to mascara, this is still my absolute favorite mascara. I've used it in all my makeup videos. It is the L'Oreal Paris Double Extend Beauty Tubes Mascara. And I really like the idea of using the primer in step 1. And yes, I am singing while I put this on. I was listening to the Fall Acoustic channel on Google Music. It's my favorite thing to listen to in the fall. If I ever do like a fall apartment tour, you'll probably hear it in the background. But then after the primer, you put on this nice rich coat of mascara. It's the blackest black. I think it just accents so well with the primer and they work just wonderfully. I have no complaints with this mascara. I very rarely ever use falsies. I guess you can call them eyelash extensions, but I rarely use false eyelashes, so this really helps. And then last but not least is my Revlon. This is just a lip gloss, but it's a very tinted lip gloss. And you're about to see how untalented I am when it comes to applying lip gloss without any liner. It might not look bad now, but when I'm done and I rub the lips together, you will see that I definitely have to go back. Oh yeah, let's see it. That is beautiful. So I will grab a tissue and then quickly just clean up the sides. It's a little bit much for the color I wanted in this look, so I will blot it in the tissue when I'm done cleaning around the lips, just to kind of lighten the intensity of the color. Yeah, there it is. There, that is much better. I didn't want so much of a dramatic lip. And then one last time with my big kabuki brush, I will put a little bit more loose powder just to set the look, and then we are done. As it is fall, I do get to use my favorite, absolute favorite product. Drugstore or not, I am completely obsessed with the EOS eggs. And there you have it. That is my updated everyday makeup look, drugstore edition. If you like this video, please make sure to give it a thumbs up. Comment below and let me know what your favorite drugstore product is, fall or not. I always like to hear what you guys like. And if you have not yet subscribed, click the button down below to subscribe for future videos. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.